Okay, so we are going to replace a control board in a 1985 to 87 Bryant 395B furnace. It's also made by Carrier. So first we'll take the initial covers off. And as you can see, the fan's been replaced. There's the wonderful model numbers and all that fun stuff. Like I said, it says Bryant on it, but it is Carrier. We're replacing the control board, and I'll get to that part here in a minute. I'll take the bottom cover off to get to the control board. As you can see, it's a little grungy inside. That's the box where the control board sits right there. That's what we'll be replacing with that right there. It's an ICM 275C. They run about, I don't know, I was lucked out, got this one wholesale for about 62 bucks at my local wholesaler. Usually the wholesalers only sell to plumbing contractors, heating contractors, but I told them I'm just going to order it online, so either I could spend my money with them or I could spend it on eBay or Amazon or one of those places. So that's what we'll be replacing it with. Okay, so we got to take that cover off, and for that you basically just need some basic tools. 1/4-inch socket, a little screwdriver set, cigarettes, and control board, cat food. Alright, so open up my wonderful set of tools here and grab 1/4-inch, an extension, or I'm sorry, the 1/4-inch ratchet, the extension, and the 1/4-inch socket. The 2 screws are on the bottom. There's one there, one there. Okay, so I removed the 2 screws. One thing of warning before you do this: either shut your breaker off to your furnace for the electricity, and or pull your fuse, shut your fuse box off. I have a nifty little fuse box right up there with one of the older screw fuses in it and a switch. I go as far as taking the fuse out and turning the switch off. So okay, so this cover comes off, and there's your control board. So we're going to be replacing this old beast. It's not that hard actually. If you have some basic brain cells, you can anybody can actually do this themselves, instead of paying the $75 for the HVAC guy to come out and another, you know, how many ever dollars it's going to cost that they charge you for the board. You know, you're probably, if you buy this local, you buy one of these boards, you're looking at around 120 bucks brand new for these. I've seen them as low as 45 on eBay, the exact same boards. They say they're used, but they're in excellent shape. I don't know how they test them. I don't really trust stuff like that. So okay, so forgot to grab my handy little work lights that I like to use to light things up. So you want to replace this. Most people would mark each connector. You know, you can use tabs or whatnot, pieces of scotch tape, or I'm sorry, masking tape if you wanted to. You can write down each of the little letters on the board, like PR1, PR2, calm, high, low, all of those little things, L2, and mark the cable. The way I'm going to do it is I'm going to pull each one out and put it onto the new board in its corresponding place, and just let the new board kind of hang there, and then just replace it, you know, that way. So pretty easy, I think. We'll give it a try. Once again, here's my new board. Comes with instructions. The ICM 275 fan control center. And on the front, it'll tell you that it will replace a carrier HH8 for AA001, 003, 005, and 009. The board I'm replacing, it's underlined, is the HH84 AA009 board. And if you go up there in the corner, you can see that part number, HH84 AA009, up there in the right corner. So, take it out of the box. And as you can see, pretty much everything that corresponds to the board there corresponds here. You can see that little white piece. That's where this right here, these two will stick up into that slot and then screw on in 1-2 places at the bottom, and that's what holds it in. So like I said, I'm going to pull each wire out and put it onto its corresponding place on this board after I take it out. Probably don't want to throw the board on the ground like I just did. That could cause some problems. So, 1/4-inch socket. Alright, there you go. One screw. Let me back this light off a little bit. It's hard to film one-handed. Okay, and that comes out. As you can see, pretty small screws. Okay, so the board should, unless there's another screw that I missed, should slide out. Just like that. So, here's your board there. It slides out from the top, and now I'm going to move everything over, but I can't film and do that at the same time, so once I put it back together, I will let you know. Okay, so I got my little El Cheapo screwdriver set, and I'm just gonna, these are all of the screws that go to your thermostat that control everything. So I would advise not mixing the wires up, but they are color coded. You know, you got your yellow wire here. That wire should be white, red. I don't know if that stands for C for cream, G for green. So I'm going to loosen those up, and I'm going to move those wires over to my new board. I just wanted to loosen the screws. So that's all done. And also make sure you shut your thermostat off too before you do that. Probably be good. All right. So now I'm just gonna move over some connectors and wires, and we'll be right back. Okay, so I moved a couple of the wires over. I started with off the old board, the Sec 1, the Sec 2, the low, and the high. The Sec 1 there, Sec 2 there, low, and the high one beneath that. You know, these wires have been on this board since 1985, 87, so it does require some force to pull these connectors off. So, you know, don't have to be gentle, but, you know, the contacts, believe it or not, they're still in pretty good shape on that old board. I just think the relay is where my problem is. My furnace will heat up. I will get fire. I got gas. The fan runs when it's in auto mode or in on mode, but if it will not kick on when it's in on mode. So the furnace will heat up and then it will shut off after probably about 30 to 45 seconds. The emergency shut off and it overheats. So I think one of these relays, one of those two relays are bad. So that's why we're replacing this board. It can either be one of two things. It's either going to be this board is bad or the blower is bad on the auto side, or on the on the auto side. So we're hoping that this does the trick. I'm going to move a few wires over again and I'll be right back. Okay, so we're back. Pretty much I just went in order. Pulled off the wires, the PR1, the L1, the PR2, the L2, and the COM wire, you know, pretty much in order, and put them on. I did have to pull this wire through a little bit here so to get to the board, and I had to pull on this wire here to get to the L2 and the COM wires. I had to pull some through more the sheathing here. But make sure that if you have to do that, you're pulling the wire going through the sheathing and not trying to pull on the wire that goes to the power. That would suck. All right. So as you can see, there's my old board, and the only thing left is to move the screws over, or move the thermostat wires over and mount it up into the, oh, and as you can see, I didn't notice that when I pulled the old board out. Look at that. Oh, so yep, the relay burnout. Look at that, it's black on the back of it. I didn't even notice that. So I wonder if it hit the case and shorted out. Maybe I lucked out. We'll see. All right, I will mount the rest of these wires on and give it a test fire, but I'll be right back after I put on the thermostat wires. Okay, I'm back. So believe it or not, it took me longer to hook up these 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 wires than it did to unplug the old board and put the new board in. So it didn't really wasn't really that hard. You know, I am concerned though about that back there. Once again, I just want to make sure that the board isn't touching and shorting out on that metal. You know, as you can see, here's the old control board. You know, I would think that's right there where the one relay, you know, plugs in, as you can see. That's probably why I was not getting automatic fan. We'll see. We're gonna hope for the best here, but you know, really, you know, without me recording this, it took me about 15-20 minutes to replace this board, really. So it's not very hard. On a scale of 1 to 10, if you have a brain stem, I think I'd label this maybe a 2 or a 3, because every wire basically off the old board goes exactly into, you know, the same place, or not the same physical place, but you know, the same thing. You don't have to guess, oh, does this go here or does this go there, because the wording, or you know, the labels are different. The labels are identical, so it is pretty simple. So I'm going to put this back up there. I'm going to mount it back up into that. You know, it's basically where it goes, and we're going to see what shakes out of this. All right, and there's the back where it's going to mount into that, and I'm wondering if this has suffered any damage from the blowout that my old board had, because it does have some scarring on it there, as you can see. I just noticed that now, so we're going to plug that in and see what happens. All right, I'll be back in a few minutes. Okay, So the old board is there. It is mounted, as you can see. I just got to put the screws in. Pretty straightforward. Everything lined up perfectly. What I did do was I didn't try to push the board in from the front. I slid it up underneath back here, and it just slid right up there. No problem. I just had to move some of the wires out of the way, and I found that this ground wire here that goes to the L1, I did have to pull some more of that sheath through the conduit right here, so it worked out pretty good. So now I'm hoping that the screws will line up. Let's try that one first. Okay, it's off just a little bit. There we go. Said I'm trying to film and do this at the same time. Let me fix my ratchet here. Okay, I got one side of the board mounted. That one lines up. All right, I got the other screw. And here we go. There, right there, I think. There we go. Now it's grabbing. I can almost hand tighten those. Let me move this light back a little bit. All right. Not too tight, just tight enough. And there we go. The board is in. I don't see it. I don't think it's rubbing. There is adequate space between the back of the cover here. And you know, that's pretty much it. I will be back in a few minutes once I get the cover on and the air conditioner back together, and I will let you know if this was a successful endeavor. All right, be right back. Okay, so here's the moment of truth. I'm getting heat. I got flame. I tested the fan. The fan runs on, so I got it on auto. Just gonna see if the blower kicks on once we heat up. Like I said, you can see there. Okay, there we go. Okay, so we got flame going into the exchanger. Now let's just see if it'll kick on within how many seconds. Things. Maybe I should be behind a shield in case something decides to blow up, but hey, we'll see. How about that? The blower kicked on. I got heat again without having to have the blower run 100% of the time. Like I said, I probably just saved myself $62.11 to buy the ICM 275 controller board. I didn't have to make any adjustments to it. I popped it right in. It took me really about 15-20 minutes to do it, and so I probably saved myself about $200 from having somebody else do this. So there you go. I hope this was informative. I hope this helps you out if you decide to do this on your own. Have fun.